say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
You are now entering the Sports Strip Podcast. Brought to you by JCA Sports. Here's your host, Jose and Enrique Contreras.
Opportunity, Ricky. Opportunity. The opportunity is all we need, man.
That's all we need.
It's all we need is opportunity, and we got it. And so does Jamal Hill. When given the opportunity, Ricky, he stepped into the main event of UFC Fight Night Saturday night against Johnny
Walker.
Johnny Walker, and Ricky, he lived up. He definitely lived up to his nickname, Sweet Dreams, man. Sweet Dreams, because he brutally knocked out Johnny Walker in the first round of UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Welcome, guys, to the Sports Drip Life podcast. My brother and I have this opportunity here to be able to talk to you all, talk combat sports, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk UFC. We're going to talk Bellator. We're going to talk WWE. We're going to talk AEW, and we're going to have fun doing it. Thank you to Anchor for sponsoring us. Make sure to follow us on Spotify and on the Anchor app. We will be able to catch all our past podcast and all our future episodes as well. But I'm joined by my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras. Ricky, welcome.
Glad to be here, man. Welcome everybody that's tuning into the episode tonight.
Absolutely. And Ricky, and we were just talking about Jamal Hill knocking out Johnny Walker, and let's be honest, Johnny Walker is a dangerous opponent, and Hill showed no fear whatsoever in fighting on his front foot before landing the fight and the overhand right less than 3 minutes into the first round in the light heavyweight clash, and just setting it up, Ricky, a little bit as Walker moved in to throw a jab. Hill unloaded with an overhand right that landed to the temple. And let's be honest, that from a different angle from when it originally showed, it didn't seem like a powerful punch.
No, it didn't.
It just literally landed right on the button.
right on the temple.
Dude, like
the temple area.
It's crazy. Like Walker went stiff and his hand shot into the air and it failed to attempt to regain his balance. And after Walker crashed into the cage, Ricky Hill followed with another brutal right that fully shut off Walker's lights and ended the fight at 2:55 mark of the first round. And I want to get your perspective here because, like I say, it didn't look powerful. It didn't look as nasty as usually like those type of knockouts are. But, man, the damage that it done was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, going into this fight, I knew one of these guys were going to fall. I knew one of these guys was going to land, because these are two hard-hitting guys in the light heavyweight division, and they're up and coming. And Johnny Walker was once a prospect everybody was talking about that, this guy's going to do some things in this division. But, he came into this fight and he got in there with a dangerous striker like Jamal Hill. And once he got clipped in that temple area that we were just talking about, like you said, it didn't look as hard as it really was. When he threw his hands up in the air for that split second, I thought Walker was like playing, like fucking around, playing, like taunting, because he has a personality.
Yeah.
And But then when he stiffened up and fell back, I was like, whoa, this guy's out. And that was it, man. That was a pretty crazy, scary knockout too.
It was pretty scary. It was pretty crazy, but it was all she wrote. It's all he really needed to win that victory. And this Jamal Hill, man, for a light heavyweight, doesn't look as strong as swole as you usually see these light heavyweight guys.
No.
Power that he packs, man. This guy. This isn't the first time knocking people out like this. This guy can brawl for sure.
Yeah. And neither does Tai Tuivasa in the heavyweight division, right? He looks like a flabby guy, but that dude packs power.
Yeah.
And it strikes, and you wouldn't know it until you actually feel it. So, yeah, Jamal Hill, he's one of those guys too, man. He doesn't look very strong, but he got power, bombs.
And that's all you really need, Ricky. For someone like Jamal Hill to be able to have this type of performance, and if I'm not mistaken, his first main event in UFC, like, how big is that?
I mean, it's definitely big for his career. I mean, he's now with this win, he cracked the top 10 in the rankings. So, and so he's won his last 2 fights now by knockout. So, the more he wins, the more he's gonna end up becoming a contender in this division. So it's a pretty big win for him because he finally cracked the top 10 in the rankings, and we'll see where he goes from here.
Yeah, let's see where he goes from here. Ricky, as far as Johnny Walker goes, not the match you envisioned. Definitely not how you want it to go down, but I mean, it happened, and these type of things happen. Where does he go from here? What should he do next? How does he regain momentum going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I read that he had a pretty difficult weight cut coming into this fight. Mm-hmm. There's even video of him almost falling down as he stepped off the scale.
Yeah.
So and then when you look at that, you wonder, did that have some kind of has something to do with him being knocked out the way that he did? Because in his last fight when he fought Thiago Santos, he took some big shots from him, and he still stood and fought. And right here, he got clipped right in the temple, and that was it. So if you wonder if that contributed to it a little bit. So I think he should consider fighting a heavyweight in his next fight, because the dude is 6'6", man, very long fighter, long reach, and then it'll probably it'll be easier on his body. Yeah. Cutting down to 205 at 6'6", man, that has to be really rough on the body. So he probably should consider that. We'll see what he does.
No, definitely. He should try to consider a little bit. Definitely. Maybe cutting down for sure. I think middleweight will probably be more of his style. No?
Who?
Sorry. Yeah, or heavyweight.
No, heavyweight. Heavyweight, yeah. Yeah, he should definitely fight in. He should consider it. I would like to see him fight in the heavyweight division because he does have the size for it. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
and he has power. He'll probably be one of the quickest ones there in the division too. So he'll have that advantage. But we'll see what he does. You know what I mean? Because this was a pretty rough knockout. No,
it was rough. It was rough indeed. But like I say, it wasn't rough to the standpoint where it's kind of like, look, Hill got, in my eyes, I feel like Hill got that lucky shot. He wasn't aiming for the temple, right? But it landed, and it literally like lights out, sweet dreams. Pun intended. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like so I'm saying, for Walker, you could hang your head high, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because again, like I really believe it was a lucky blow. If it wasn't for that blow,
but he is on a losing skid now. I'm talking about Johnny Walker. He's been on, and everybody used to talk about him, saying, "Hey, this guy, he's up and coming, man. He's gonna take this division by storm. Watch." But he's been losing lately, so that's why I wonder if the weight cut is starting to get to him. For being such a big guy, cutting down to 205, he should probably consider, it'll be easier for him to fight in the heavyweight division, as far as how he'll feel.
Yeah, no, you're right. As far as Hill, Ricky, great. It was a great showing for him, like as we mentioned earlier.
For sure.
Where does he go from here?
Jamal Hill?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, man, he's in the top 10 now. We'll see who they match him up, but probably somebody like whoever's ranked number 7 right now, maybe in the top 5. He's got some work to do. So we'll see what he does. We're talking about, we got Jiri Prohashka. He's about to challenge for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah,
and that guy's a scary dude too. So he's got some guys, that'll give him a run for his money for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Give him a run for his money. This is the Sports Drip Live podcast brought to you by JCA Sports, sponsored by Anchor. So guys, make sure to follow us. We're live on different platforms, guys. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch, and even we're missing one. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. So it's 4 different platforms you guys can find us on, and we'll have every single show on there. We'll have the JCA Sports, Sports Drip, and EAFP podcast. So make sure to follow us on there, guys. Definitely, and we appreciate you guys for watching. Ricky, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we had middleweight up-and-comer Kyle Daukaus, and he got his first UFC finish in the co-main event as he submitted Jamie Pickett in the first round. Ricky Daukaus got to the mat and in the opening minute, but Pickett refused to stay grounded. The pair remained locked as they stood, and that led to another Daukaus takedown. Again, Pickett got upright, but after a couple of hard shots, he was taken down the third time. This time, Daukaus was able to sink in a choke, and Pickett tapped out just as the horn sounded to end the round. The time of the finish, Ricky, was 4:59 of round number 1.
If only he would have hold on. If he only would have hold
away.
If he only would have hold on for that last second, but I'm pretty sure he was unaware of the time, man. So
yeah, man. Daukaus moves to 11-2 with the win, and Pickett falls to 13-7. Ricky, what did you see here, man?
Dominance. I mean, Daukaus, he pretty much dominated this fight, man. He took him down multiple times. I don't think Jamie Pickett was ever really able to get going, man. He wasn't. I guess he came in with a plan, but he couldn't. He wasn't able to execute it because Daukaus was so good in this fight. So and then once he took him down, I mean, he got up after every takedown, but Daukaus he came to win and he won tonight. He locked in that Darce choke, and that was all she wrote, man. And Jamie Pickett, like I said, he probably wasn't aware of the time. He had only 1 second left, but he probably felt himself going out. So that was his instinct to tap.
If it was you, what would you do? Would you tap out, or would you just like you'll have to choke me out? I
mean, it's just like I said, he wasn't aware of the time. If I wasn't aware of the time,
true.
Your instinct is to tap out, man, because you don't want to go unconscious. But I don't know what I would do with that. I wouldn't know what I would do in that situation. If I feel myself going out, okay, I'll probably tap.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's easier said than done. We can say it here, but we're on the computer talking about this.
Exactly.
The guy.
Yeah. See,
definitely. So what happens from here? What goes forward? Daukaus, like I said, is now 11-2, really good record in the middleweight division. We know Kamaru Usman reigns supreme. What does this do for Daukaus' career? He co-main evented. He went out.
This I believe was a welterweight fight, wasn't it? It was welterweight. Yeah. So Kamaru Usman. Yeah, right. Because you said middleweight.
Yeah. I think he's.
That's Adesanya is the king of the middleweight.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, middleweight.
Disrespecting Izzy, man.
I forgot, bro. Honestly, man. You know what? They're all so similar, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, they're all so similar. They're all, they're dominant champions who just make the rounds, and you forget like who's in what division, because honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like Usman, Adesanya, and Ngannou, like these guys are just beasts, and like I don't know who can like literally go up there and take those belts from either one of those guys. But
when you're doing the rounds like that and you're beating guys over and over, I mean, you're looking for some fresh meat, man. And exactly. There's not a lot. That's why guys like like Kyle Daukaus, he needs to win like this convincingly if he wants to try to get a crack at the title. So, I mean, we'll see what he does, man. From here, as long as he keeps winning, he'll get closer and closer to contention. Yeah,
absolutely. Closer and closer to contention for sure. And As far as Pickett goes, Ricky, Jamie Pickett, where do you think happens to him?
I mean, whatever they give him next, man, he's pretty dominant loss for him. So so he's got to see what he has to work on in the gym, and let's see what the UFC gives him next.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was UFC Fight Night last Saturday night. Before we move on to Bellator, Ricky, let's move on to Fight Night. This up and coming Saturday night, we have a great card. But that main event, dude, like this could. Let's be honest. This could be on a pay-per-view card. We're getting a treat this for free. Islam Makhachev versus Danny Green,
Bobby King Green.
King Green. Yeah, Islam Makhachev versus Bobby King Green. Ricky, should be a great matchup. What do you see happening here,
dude? I don't see anything other than Islam Makhachev winning this fight by submission. I respect Bobby Green, man. He stepped in last minute in this fight.
He did
for Beneil Dariush, who couldn't make this fight, and he just won 2 weeks ago.
He did
dominantly. Dominantly. Because he's really good in the stand up, and he's a high volume puncher, but he doesn't have that one knockout punching power. And against Islam Makhachev, the only way you could probably beat this guy is by hurting him, because he has been knocked out before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you can't finish him, this guy, he's going to take you down, and he's going to submit you quick. He's going to go immediately. He's going to go for a submission. So, all the respect to Bobby Green for taking this fight, but it's not looking good for him, to be honest.
Islam Makhachev via submission. That sounds like a bet I'm going to be placing Saturday night, man. Because I agree. I think Islam Makhachev. We all know his ground game is what he's best at. He's lethal. It's a lethal something you don't want to get into with him. I absolutely agree with you. If you want to beat someone like Islam Makhachev, you got to hurt him. You got to hurt him early. But he has to allow you to even get that close without being taken down.
Exactly.
And that in itself is a game. Once he gets a hold of you in the clinch, you know what he can do. This guy comes from a great background, great family. We know the Makhachevs, and Islam is something.
And he trains with Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, man.
And we talked about these guys before, man. The way that the kind of wrestling style that these guys do, it's kind of they call it like mauling like a bear. These guys these guys just maul you until you just can't defend. You're helpless, and then once you leave an opening, they'll take it quick, like a fucking animal. So yeah, these how these guys are, man. So not looking good for Bobby Green, man. He's gonna have to hurt him, but the problem is he doesn't have that kind of knockout punch power. So, yeah.
Yeah. Who do you have winning, Ricky? I know you said it, but you have Islam Makhachev winning.
I think I said it like 3 times, right? Islam Makhachev,
man, winning this fight. If he wins this fight, then what? Does he finally get up to? Does he finally go up, right?
I think he should get the next shot. Once Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje, I think so, man. Especially if he wins, like I think he's gonna win. Like dominantly, like just like probably take him out in the first round. Definitely give him the next title shot, man.
I agree. Look, if you're UFC, you can only hold these guys down too long, man.
Fuck Conor McGregor, man.
Man, for real, for real. Like I'm sorry, man, but Conor McGregor, you can't just come in and you can't get the Goldberg Brock Lesnar treatment that they get in WWE. You can't just come in and get a title shot. You can't do that shit no more, bro. It's not gonna work. You gotta earn it.
Exactly. Put him in there with Nate Diaz. I want to see that fight. Put him in there with Nate Diaz. Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz the third time, bro. That fight I hope they make. Or put him in there with Tony Ferguson. Somebody like that, man. That'd be a great fight.
That'd be a great fight as well. Absolutely. Look, you're watching the Sports Drip Live podcast, guys. Make sure to follow us and catch our podcast on both Anchor and on Spotify. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're talking UFC. We're about to get into some Bellator right now, as we just had Bellator 274.
274.
Wow. Bellator just be moving with it, bro. They go so quick. UFC's barely at 272 coming up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or 272. Yeah.
Bellator's flying, man.
They're making up for lost time, man. I think they didn't do some shows during the pandemic, so they're flying, bro. They're coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, we just passed Logan Storley and he defeated Naaman Gracie. Ricky, talk to me about that fight.
Man, it went exactly like I thought it would because, you know, when Naaman Gracie and Logan Storley, the styles that these guys have, it basically forces a stand-up fight.
Yeah.
Gracie is a high-level jiu-jitsu artist on the ground, right? So just like how Islam Makhachev, he would want to take the guy down and try to finish it quick.
Yep.
Logan Storley doesn't want to go on the ground, but the good thing for him is that he's a multiple-time All-American wrestling champion. So he can stuff the takedowns, defend easily. It won't go to the ground. So it turned out to be a stand-up fight, and this was the first 5-round non-main event in Bellator. So this was the first one. Yeah. It makes me think of Yoel Romero when he fought Phil Davis and he made that boneheaded comment. He was like, I thought it was 5 rounds.
Oh,
you know, because at that time they didn't have 5-round non-title main events in Bellator.
Right.
So they finally did it. I guess ever since then, and this is the first one, and it went all 5 rounds. It was a great stand-up battle. The 4th round was probably the best one because both guys almost finished each other in that round. So it was great 4th round, and Storley he basically outpunched Gracie on the feet. He wasn't dominant, but he outstruck him for sure. Because Naaman Gracie had his moments. Gracie did have his moments. He was pretty good on the stand-up too as well. And both guys' face, they were busted up by the end of the fight.
They really were. Yeah. It was a battle, no doubt about it. And Logan Storley won unanimous decision, Ricky, 48-47, 50-45, 49-46 was the score. And you know, we were just talking about Islam Makhachev and Bobby Green. That's the formula right there. Work on your wrestling game. Stuff those takedowns. You could do that, then you have a shot, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that, like, especially when you've got a guy like Islam Makhachev in the lightweight division, you know, in the UFC, if you're gonna face this guy, you really everybody's got to step up their game in the wrestling. Yeah, because this guy will take you down quick, right? And it'll fit, and they'll make you look like an amateur. Yep. You know, so you're right. That's the formula to beat someone like Islam Makhachev, Naaman Gracie. Work on that wrestling, or even better, if you're a wrestler, you know, if you were a high level wrestler in college, you have a shot against these guys. You also got to work on the stand up too, because you got to make up for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to stand up for no doubt about it, man. Ricky, there was also the co-main event. Andrew, of course, I'm not going to butcher his name. You're way better at reading these names than I am.
Audrey Koreshkov.
Koreshkov, yes.
Versus Chance Rencontre.
Yep, he defeated Chance Rencontre via TKO, spinning back kick in round number 1, man. What do we see here?
Ooh, this was nasty, bro. He landed it right at, like, I would say probably right in the kidney area. And as soon as he landed that, you know, Chance went down, and that was it, bro. I mean, and then if you look, and then the fall off from that, supposedly he had some broken ribs. I think there was a collapsed organ too. I mean, he got it good, bro. He got it in Chance. So, you know, it's unfortunate that he had to go through that. You know what I mean? But and then as far as from what I read, he's doing all right. He's going to recover. But just by when you look at the slow motion video when it lands, or even just looking at a still photo, once the kick landed, you can see that kick did some major damage.
Yeah. It did. It definitely made God gave us some major damage, man. I'm surprised.
Broken ribs and
ribs. It was bad. It was pretty bad.
It was bad.
What happened here, Ricky, for Koreshkov? Where did he go after this win?
But I just move. We'll see where he goes. I did not check where he is in the rankings, but I do gotta look that up. But we'll see where he goes from here. I think he should get. He should be in contention pretty soon.
No, absolutely.
Probably with one more win.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bellator 275, Mousasi Ricky versus Austin. What do we have? What does Bellator have in store for us with this fight?
Yeah, so I just like how I wouldn't say it's gonna be as dominant as Makhachev and Bobby Green, but Gegard Mousasi is gonna win this fight, man. Austin Vanderford, Mr. Paige Van Zandt himself. Right. You know, lucky man, he gets to go home to Paige Van Zandt, but unfortunately, he ain't gonna bring the middleweight title with him, man. So, no, Mousasi, he's been on he's been on I want to say, he's been on a dominant win streak since coming to Bellator. I mean, he's won 6 out of his 7 fights that he's fought there, and he's a 2-time middleweight champion. He's beaten guys like Lyoto Machida, like Douglas Lima, Rory McDonald. He's been on a really good run in Bellator, and he's a veteran too. He's been fighting for a long time. He's been fighting in the UFC for a while, and yeah, this is about as sure as a win for Gegard Mousasi as it is for Islam Makhachev, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, if he wins this fight, what happens? What happens in that division?
Mousasi or Vanderford?
Mousasi.
Yeah, man. We'll see who comes up next. You know, obviously he's probably not defended the title now maybe like 3 times now since winning it back. So we'll see who's next for him. But he's on a good run. He's on a good run, and he deserves to be champion for sure.
Okay. No, absolutely. Big Saturday coming up, right? So out of all the matches we discussed, Ricky, which one are you most excited for?
Probably, well, I guess I could say, I don't know if I should say I'm excited to see a dominant win by Makhachev, but I'm more excited to see what comes after his win, after he wins. Like I said, I think he should get the next title shot.
Yeah. I
think he should get the next title shot. And just imagine him fighting. I mean, my early prediction as far as the Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje, I got Oliveira winning that fight. So just imagine Oliveira and Makhachev.
But look, I wouldn't put anything past Justin Gaethje. And that fight, man, that fight's gonna be a brawl, absolutely brawl.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
And look, Charles Oliveira, he is beatable. You got to catch him. Oh, yeah. You got to catch him, and you could put him out. The thing about Oliveira, he is hard to put away. It's hard to finish him, because he comes back.
The chin on that guy is amazing. Hell yeah, he could take punches. There ain't no doubt about it.
Hell yeah. So
it's gonna be crazy.
That's what I'm most looking forward to. Once the weekend is over, we'll see where Makhachev will. Like I said, he should get the next shot.
No, absolutely, Ricky. Moving on to the wrestling world, let's get into some AEW and WWE, Ricky. I know you say you don't watch Raw or SmackDown. I haven't watched Raw and SmackDown. It's not. The content isn't as good as we would like it to be. But I have been watching NXT and I have been watching AEW. These 2 shows are good. Don't get me wrong. They could be better, but I feel like between the 4 shows, these 2 shows are definitely the better ones. And I want to talk about both, but let's get into maybe some WWE first before we get into AEW, Ricky. Obviously, there's news of Cody Rhodes wanting to get into WWE, or there's rumors that he's signing a deal with them. And there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of news out there as to why he's planning on going. The friction between him and as a VP with Tony Khan and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, all that's been laid out. But I want to ask you, what do you think the real reason is for him leaving?
So, what I read was that he left because his executive or his booking power was taken away from him. And it wasn't just him; it was also Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, because they came in when they started the company. They said that they would also be part of creative and the booking of the matches and everything like that. And so that was a major factor in him leaving. And when they did that, I guess, okay, well, I want to get paid more. If you want to re-sign me, I want more money. He wanted CM Punk level money, or like that, or Bryan Danielson kind of money. The only problem is, man, Cody Rhodes is not that big of a star. Not at the level of CM Punk or Bryan Danielson. Not even not Jericho. He wasn't going to get Jericho money either. So, and with that, he left. So, if you look at a lot of the past episodes, you can see some of the influences from Cody, from Kenny, and from the Young Bucks. Why do you think we seen Brandi Rhodes randomly, just showing up and doing these interviews that nobody really cared about? You see,
Right.
you see guys like QT Marshall that nobody cares about. He was getting. There was a lot of people complaining, why the hell is QT Marshall on TV, but Lance Archer and Brian Cage, why are they not on TV? You know what I'm saying? Like why is this guy on TV? Now that was Cody, right? And Omega, he mostly works with the women. He mostly works with the women's wrestling, but he did bring in a lot of Japanese wrestlers early on that nobody really understood. I guess they didn't get. But the Young Bucks, they brought in I think they focused more on tag team wrestling, and they brought in some quality tag teams. You're talking about like Santana Ortiz, FTR, and the Lucha Brothers.
Yep.
So I guess it's unfair that they got their power taken away, because I think they were doing a good job. But so that's pretty much the main reason why Cody left, because he wanted to feel like he wanted to be an executive, and then he thought he was a top star in the company, which he wasn't.
He wasn't. And I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I'm thinking about it. I don't think him getting his creative powers taken away was a bigger issue than the money issue. Because let's think about it. It makes no sense. You get that taken away, so the first thing you do is go to a company where you get no creative decisions at all, not even for your own character. Let's be honest.
Not even that. Yeah.
Not even for your own character. So it's like, how does that make sense? I think that obviously has something to do with it. It got taken away. He felt some type of way because okay, fine. But I'm gonna focus on a wrestler as a wrestler only. I want to be the guy, the top guy. And I know you don't think Cody can be the top guy. I personally think he can be if used correctly. I mean, he was a top guy.
Right.
And many other places, but it's kind of like.
Well, here's the thing. Another story that came out was that he was being very stubborn about his character.
Yeah.
Supposedly Tony Khan was telling him, like, hey man, can't you read the room? These people are booing the shit out of you. You need to turn heel. And he didn't want to. He didn't want to turn heel. I think it had to do with I think he does some kind of charities on the side, kind of like how John Cena was, and he doesn't want to be a heel on TV. But dude, every time he was going out, he was getting booed. People were caring less and less. Even look, I liked Cody Rhodes in the beginning when AEW started. I was a fan of his. I didn't watch much of him in WWE because I wasn't watching much WWE at the time when he was there. But I knew of him. Right? But slowly but surely, man, this guy, I was starting to become less and less of a fan of him. He would come in, he would disappear, come back, get involved with the story, no resolution to the story, disappears again, doing reality shows, doing challenge shows or whatever that show is. And he wasn't around enough. And then while he was gone, you see his wife, Brandy, who's not very good on the mic, not a very good wrestler herself, but, trying to be a part of the show, when I think her best role was to be his manager. I think that was her best role, to be at Cody's side when he's out there wrestling. The problem is he wasn't around enough. So then we got all those segments that we got with Brandy. You were there live too on the last one her very last appearance, dude, where she got and there in Chicago, where she got told shut the fuck up.
Dude, it was bad. It made no sense for her to be out there at all. Like I don't know where that story came from. I don't know where it was going, but she was arguing with was it Adam Lambert from American Top Team?
It was Dan Lambert, yeah, from American Top Team.
Yeah, from American Top Team. That like it made no sense whatsoever. No, he was going at her. The crowd was going at her. If anything, if that segment was literally, it seemed like it was literally made to just shit on her, bro. Like it was bad. It was so bad. It made no sense whatsoever.
Dude, I know you couldn't see this live, but when I was watching this on TV, she looked like she was gonna cry. Like her eyes got watery. She looked like, with the crowd going on her, and Dan Lambert, she looked like she was about to burst.
I'll tell you what, if that was like the last show Cody and them like produced or helped, like whatever, it was bad. It was a bad show. I told you this. It wasn't that when I went to AEW, it wasn't what I was used to. It was a pretty bad show. It wasn't all that. And if Brandy came out like that had to be, with a lot of influence with Cody, which tells me there was influence still with the EVPs then. So like that creative control getting taken away was pretty recent.
Yeah.
we've seen Tony Khan a lot, which was weird, right? Because before, when we go to AEW events, and I know you've seen, there will always be Cody Rhodes coming out or another talent, right? But this time, on that night, it was always Tony Khan. He was coming in between matches, before the events, after the event, thanking everybody. So I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool, but also pretty weird. So like, it all makes sense. But going back to WWE, Ricky, him going to WWE is a money move. And you said it best. He's not a star at AEW. He's not going to be a star at AEW. But he can have quality matches. The first match he had with his brother Dustin Rhodes was amazing.
Yeah, that was probably his best match. Yeah,
it really was a good match. The last match he had in AEW against Sammy Guevara in that match, really, really, really good match.
Yeah,
he's able to produce those type of matches. He just doesn't put himself in that situation. And you're right. If he turns heel, that changes everything. But he didn't want to do it, and it sucked. But I mean, here we are now, right? They left AEW. He's not going to WWE. What happened? Does he go in as a heel? Does he go in as a babyface? Does he go to SmackDown to face Roman Reigns? Get the move needle there. What do you think happens if he does go to WWE?
Knowing WWE, they're probably going to bring him in as a babyface. They're going to portray him as a babyface. Now, I don't know if the crowd is going to treat him like a babyface, though. They're going to look at this guy. And I mean, I don't know how much of the WWE audience watches AEW or knows of it, but when they're gonna look at this guy coming in, like, oh yeah, that's the AEW guy, and now he's back, he's crawling back to Vince McMahon, and they're probably gonna boo the shit out of him. We don't know how the crowd is gonna react to him. The WWE is probably gonna roll out the red carpet for this guy, and he's gonna come in. They're gonna treat him like a big deal right off the bat. That's what I see.
I think the crowd will take him in well. What's gonna end up happening, right? Is they're gonna introduce him like a Shinsuke Nakamura. He's gonna come in maybe like the night after WrestleMania, maybe at WrestleMania. Like the true wrestling fans know who he is, and it's gonna be a huge pop. And because those fans are like, oh my god, it's Cody Rhodes, and even like the casual fans who don't know who he is, they're gonna be excited because it's like the cool thing to do. Like, oh, who's this guy? But everybody else is excited, so let me get excited. You know what I mean? So I think at first it's gonna be a very well reception. It's just, okay, what happens after? You know what I mean? Like, how does WWE maintain that?
I still don't think Vince McMahon will see him as a top star. I think he'll end up being a mid card in time.
Well, here's the thing. Again, and we talked about this. That is the stupidest thing you want to do, because if you have someone like Cody who's leaving AEW, he's literally the first person to do so. It's at least big name guy. Yeah. Why would you give off that type of? Why would you give off that perception? No, yeah, you guys can come over here. You guys will pay you a shitload of money, but let's be honest, we're not going to do much with you. You're going to be a mid card guy. You lose all creative control. Like, what benefit is there for that? If you're Vince McMahon, you use Cody Rhodes as the top guy because you want to lure in AEW's top stars like MJF, maybe stars like Darby Allin, stars like Wardlow. Like, Vince McMahon likes the bigger guys. Let's talk bigger guys. Stars like Wardlow.
He wants Wardlow, and I'm pretty sure they want MJF too. Whenever his deal's up, you got to know they want those two guys. WWE does. So for them to treat Cody that way is probably the stupidest move that they'll ever do. But I don't think they care. I think they'll still do it.
I don't know, man.
I think
it'll be a mistake. I
don't see him beating guys like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar or even Bobby Lashley. I don't see it. Look at it. I don't know if you've seen the Elimination Chamber or saw any highlights of it, but did you see how Brock Lesnar won it? Did you see how Brock Lesnar won?
Ricky, I watched the entire thing. I watched it all. Yeah.
Did you see how Brock Lesnar won? How he treated.
He just like that.
No, not just that, but then he F5 Seth Rollins once pinned him. AJ Styles once pinned him. Matt Riddle, dude, I guarantee, because there was rumors that Cody would have been there or something like that, even though they turned out to be true. Imagine if Cody was in that Elimination Chamber, he would have got the same treatment as everybody else. And Brock is the real star. Brock is the real star. So he's gonna go from one company where Chris Jericho and CM Punk are the top stars, to another company where Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are the top stars. and he's going to be treated the same or worse.
Money must talk though, Ricky, because
Yeah,
if you look at AJ Styles, he just re-signed with WWE, and he's one of those guys where like you were like, dude, man, if AJ Styles were to leave and go in AEW, that'd be crazy. Kevin Owens was another example of that. Two guys who have ties to AEW, you know, with all the wrestlers they used to wrestle with back in the Indies. Two guys we would love to see in that company, yet they both re-signed with WWE. I mean, that has to say something, right? Like if you're stars at AEW like MJF, like Wardlow, and your deal is up, and you see guys like Kevin Owens, AJ Styles who re-sign for more money, then you look at Cody Rhodes who leaves for more money. That starts to look a little bit appeasing, no?
Yeah, as far as the money is concerned, I think with AJ, I think he's phoning it in now. He's like 42 years old now, so he's like, okay, well, I don't have much time left, so I might as well make that money now. You know, I'll be done pretty soon. With Kevin Owens, I'm not sure why. I mean, the money obviously, right? But they don't really do much with him right now. I mean, he's when it comes to him, and imagine if they bring in Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Do you see Kevin Owens beating Stone Cold in Stone Cold's return match after almost 20 years?
No, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
But then that's how they view Kevin Owens. He's not anything at the level of any of these guys. He's gonna get beat by a 60-year-old man. You know what I mean?
Is he really that old?
Yeah, he's 57, so he's almost 60.
Holy crap, bro! That's crazy. The guy looks amazing though. He's still in shape.
He still looks. Yeah, he doesn't look that old.
No,
he's always kind of looked the same. He was always bald headed, you know, with the goatee. He still looks the same.
Damn,
just a little older.
Little secret for everybody, huh? Just go bald, man. Shave everything off your face, and you know you look the same forever. Look at Kurt Angle, almost
exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Crazy. No, it's honestly it's amazing. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Like Stone Cold is not going to lose to someone like Kevin Owens. And what happens? Stone Cold leaves, and Kevin Owens is still in the company, and then you have to figure out how you build them back up from there. If you even want to do that, it's WWE's biggest problem. But I'm still interested in seeing what they do with Cody. And you know what I mean. And look, NXT is the best show right now. They have young talent. They're doing great. The shows are good. Your favorite wrestler, Nikki Alliance, just debuted. So they're really good for themselves right now.
She had a pretty good debut too. So
absolutely,
she looked pretty. She looked good in the ring. That was a good debut.
No, yeah. Moving into AEW, Ricky, before we wrap up. AEW, man. I don't know if you watched this past Dynamite yesterday, but there was a segment with Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston that I want to talk about, man. These guys on the mic, they knew what they were doing with that segment because those guys literally tore the house down with that, and they were just talking.
Yeah, this was a promo-heavy show, man, and
it really was.
Eddie Kingston, it really was, right? Because they weren't the only ones that killed it on the mic too, or got you engaged in the story. But Eddie Kingston, man, he's like I said, he's just a different breed when he's on the mic, man. You believe everything he says, everything that comes out of his mouth. You know he's legit. He comes off as real legit. And then you got Chris Jericho, too. You know he's starting to sound like he's going heel.
Yeah,
it sounds like he's going heel. Like he's probably going to become that egotistical heel that he wants to hear people sing his song and he gets off on that and he says I'm better than you and I'm the I'm the top star of this company and stuff like that.
And that's the thing. That's why I love Jericho. Heel or babyface, he gets over, man. With every character he gets over, and he doesn't care. He'll go heel, he'll go babyface, and he'll own it, man. He's so good at it.
Yeah.
So good.
Even at his age, man, he's still relevant. Everybody still sings a song when he comes out, man. And even when he was a heel, they were singing the song. This guy, he knows how to get himself over.
Hell yeah. And the dude's in shape, man. I'm watching this promo. Dude has a leather jacket on, just showing his abs. I'm like, bro, he's over. He has to be 50.
He lost weight.
He did lose weight.
He did lose weight. He was getting heavy for a while, and it looked like he spent some time in the gym. He's looking great.
Looking absolutely great. And that promo between him and Eddie Kingston, man. Eddie's really good on the mic, bro. and the crowd seemed to love him. They were chanting his name after everything he was saying. And like, dude, I love Eddie Kingston. I relate to him so much. I'm like, bro, like if I was a wrestler, this will be me right here.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah, he's very likable, man. And I'm hoping that he wins. I don't know if he's gonna win. But because the thing is that he doesn't win very often. I think he needs that one big win. If Jericho loses, Jericho doesn't lose anything if he loses, man. He really doesn't. He's a main man.
And he loses a lot, but that's the reason he does it, because he knows I gotta get the guys over. I gotta get these guys over, because they're the future of this company. Jericho eventually will go back to WWE. He eventually will go back.
For Hall of Fame?
I believe that. Yeah, I definitely believe he'll go back eventually. So like right now he's trying to get the guys over, and rightfully so. That's why I love Chris Jericho. He's the best. But the other promo you're talking about, I think you're talking about MJF, right?
Yeah,
Ooh,
MJF.
That man, I'm telling you, man, that man he's a star. He is a star,
dude. He's like a callback to the old, to a lot of the old time, like wrestlers back in the day that would stay in character, even when they're not in the arena, when they're not cutting promos, they stay in character. He's a throwback, and there's not too many guys. Even on social media, he stays in character. Whereas you see other guys, they go, they have their character, and then on social media, they're themselves, right? But this guy stays in character, and that's what I love about MJF, man. He keeps it alive.
He does, bro. He keeps it alive, and I mean, he's so good. That segment he had, just basically poured his heart out. I don't know if that was true or not, but I believed it. I don't know if it was true. If it was a gimmick, if it was just a shoot. But man, it was like so good.
I don't know. It's like I didn't know what, dude. This guy is such a great heel that I couldn't at the moment when I was watching it, I couldn't tell whether he was full of shit or if it was for real. Because I was thinking, okay, when is he gonna come on and say, yeah, that was all bullshit, and then he swerves everybody and attacks CM Punk or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I was waiting for that moment, but the more I heard, I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty real. So that's how good he is, man. You can't decide whether he's full of shit or if he's actually for real.
Amazing, bro. He's so good. He's so good on the mic. He's good as a wrestler, good as a heel. That video you put on Facebook with him and the little girl is priceless. It's so good. So good.
I laugh my ass off when I see it, man. I laugh.
Dude, AEW's in good hands with guys like him. We had Bryan Danielson and John Moxley you're going to face in Revolution. You have seems like Red Dragon's going to face Jurassic Express, and I think the Young Bucks are going to be part of that.
Yeah.
You have Buddy Matthews debuting with the House of Black, and this guy looks jacked, man. He looks.
Man, I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen him in a while since he was in WWE, and yeah, that dude is jacked to the gills.
Dude's jacked to the gills for sure. You have Jade Cargill is gonna start getting into a little situation with Ty Conti. That was probably the worst thing of the whole night. I think they botched a lot of that segment. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're finally giving Jade Cargill some real competition.
Right.
But she's dominant, man. She looks like she's gonna be a star. They already have her 28-0.
Yeah, I think they should book her a little more dominantly. You know what I mean? I think she shouldn't have to sell. She shouldn't have to sell for.
She's too dominant. She's way too dominant. It's only gonna mess them up. They need to give her competition that's gonna like push her. Like they need to put her in the ring with Nyla Rose or with Thunder Rosa, or I think Tay Conti is good, but like you haven't really built Tay Conti to be this star who could give someone like Jade Cargill an issue. You know what I mean? Like the only other women's star you have that's that big is Britt Baker. She's the women's champion. So unless you have a champion match, it makes really no sense. But
I think they're working with Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker for the title. I think that's what their plans are.
They're working that shoot. But what annoys me about AEW that they don't follow their rankings. How is this girl 27-28-0, and she's not the number one contender for your AEW Women's Champion? Makes no sense. Yeah,
no, it doesn't. She should be a double champion then, or at least try to be one. Yeah. But they're also trying to put over that TBS title over. So
I get it.
It's a good start for her and for the title.
No, yeah, and I get that, and I agree with. 28 more.
I wanted Santana and Ortiz to win that battle royal. I think those guys deserve a shot already, man. They've been there for a while.
Man. They do. They deserve something. Like they're not doing anything with them. They had them in something with Eddie Kingston and the Inner Circle, but then it's like that's it. So now it's over with. You got that was literally just to promote Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. Okay, so what are you gonna do with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious it's gonna be the Young Bucks that's gonna win. That's gonna be in that match. But I wanted Santana and Ortiz. I think those guys deserve it. I think they should get a run. They should get a run at the titles.
They should get a run at the titles for sure. AEW is starting to get to the point where they have too many superstars, not enough to go around. I feel like they need to do something where they have another episode. But I get it. That'd be literally 4 or 5 shows in 1 week of wrestling.
Right. Yeah. You're a little staticky, bro. Something going on? I hear static.
No, I think I probably my mic. But AEW, pretty good. Revolution seems like to be a good card coming up. I'm excited for that one for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stacked card. That's what it's shaping up to be.
Yeah. Usually Revolution matches are always good. There's always I've been to when they were going to Chicago on the night I'm watching the championship. So this hopefully this could be I think this is one of the biggest stuff in the company.
Yeah, you're sounding pretty staticky, man. I can barely understand what you're saying.
I mean, regardless, it's almost all right. It's just about trying. You hear me?
I can barely hear you, but yeah, you sound like a robot right now.
Oh, wow.
That's what you sound like, man. I don't hear you.
What about now? You hear me now?
I hear you now. That sounds a lot better now.
Yeah, I had to disconnect the mic. I think there's something wrong with the mic. No, Ricky, but like I said, Revolution seems like it's going to be a really good pay-per-view. I'm excited for every single one of the match. The Adam Cole versus Adam Page match, to me, it didn't make sense at first, again, because of the rankings. You have someone like MJF who has this incredible record. Yet I get why you put him in with CM Punk. But, like, how does Adam Cole, I don't know, or just come in and get a shot? But, it's going to be a great match regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to that match, too.
Yeah.
That should be pretty good.
Should be a pretty good match, man. And this show was pretty good. This was a really good show. We're excited to talk about UFC Fight Night, Bellator, AEW, WWE. Anything you want to talk about, Ricky, before we leave?
No, man, just, can't wait to talk about the next pay-per-view, which, for the next show, is going to be UFC 271, I believe. It's UFC 271. Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, man. That's going to be, I'm looking forward to that fight.
Crazy.
Dude, the lead up, the build up. I mean, these guys hate each other. And, man, I can't wait for that one, man. Can't wait to talk about it, too, on the show next week. But, yeah, next week should be a good show. We'll review UFC Fight Night. We'll review Bellator. And then we'll preview UFC 271. Yeah, so.
Absolutely. Then,
it was I believe I don't think it was 271, but 272 maybe. But yeah.
Regardless, the crazy ass card. We're definitely review it for sure, Ricky.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for listening to the Sports Gym Live podcast. Thank you guys for watching us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. This episode will be on the Anchor and Spotify platforms tomorrow. YouTube and Twitch automatically save the video and it stores right there in the channel. So just go on the YouTube JCA page and you'll be able to watch us and watch this over again. So thank you all. I
stand corrected. 272. My bad, everybody. 272.
Yep. Yeah, no, 272. I was gonna say I think it was 272 because 271 was the last one.
Yeah, 272.
Yep.
I've been getting them and Bellator mixed up, man, because they're like close in number, 275, 272.
No, yeah, definitely, bro. No, it's that's what I'm saying. Bellator is flying. They're already at 274 and about to be 275 already. I'm like, oh, chill. Yeah. And then I want to bring this up too, man. They just mentioned that AJ McKee and Patricio Pitbull for the second time. Dude, I forgot. Yes, you're right about that. Dude, fight for a second time. That's gonna be crazy.
I mean, I want to say that fight is gonna be different, but I don't know about AJ McKee, dude. He's on a tear right now in that division.
He is.
He finished him really quick in the first round. I can see it again, but we'll see we'll see if Pitbull has something new for him in the second fight.
He has to, because if not, it's going to be the same result.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, man. But for Ricky, I'm Jose, guys. Thank you for listening to Sports Red Life Podcast. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk more MMA and wrestling. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.